What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Nooside. Welcome to my Universal Gamer Update number 41. It's like, welcome to my Universal Gamer Update number 41, people of YouTube. And this is my first official gaming, as far as my YouTube gaming channel, video with my Canon T3i. If the video looks good, that means I know what I'm doing. If it looks bad, either I don't know what I'm doing, or I know what I'm doing, but I just don't know how to excode it or edit it right. Before I started off, I want to give you guys my camera settings or whatever. This is what a lot of people do inside their videos, and also inside my description. Inside every last video, I'll leave all my camera settings and stuff like that. Basically, I'm recording at 1080p, 30p, which is 30 frames per second. My ISO is at 400. To achieve that, of course, I got the video light, because it's kind of hard to achieve that indoors without any lighting source. So I got the video light, of course, and then on top of that, I put the shutter speed at 1/30th of a second, which is bad, they say, because it's good to double your frames per second. So if you're recording at 30p, you're supposed to put it at 1/60th of a second at the least. But hey, what can I say? Sometimes you got to do things wrong and learn the hard way. And also, last but not least, my f-stop is at 3.5. I wanted to put it at 5, but you know, the image gets darker. You got to play around with the different manual settings. You know, I'm not about to put shit on automatic because I got this camera for a reason. I want to play around with it and stuff like that. So let's move it over to my top 5 games for the upcoming week. And the first game up on the list is Diablo 3. Comes out on the 15th for the PC and Mac. Number 2, Max Payne 3. Comes out on the 15th for the 360 and PS3. Number 3, Game of Thrones. Comes out on the 15th for the Xbox 360, PS3, and PC. Number 4, Battleship. Comes out on the 15th for the 360, PS3, Wii, 3DS, DS, and probably more platforms than that, but that just shows that they're just milking this movie for what it's worth. And last but not least, I mean, Akai Katana, or Akari, or Akai, am I pronouncing that right? Okay. Okay! Sorry. But AKIA, I can't pronounce that. But comes out on the 17th for, wow, I forgot to write down what platform it's coming out for. Wow. Okay, so on to our next segment, Spit Game. Inside the Spit Game segment, I'm going to be talking about Black Ops 2 again. This is my second time bringing this up as my Universal Gamer Update. First, I got to pause for a second and do this. Give Activision a round of applause, because they have done a good job at what they're doing with this damn game. Like, hands down, it brings me back to Infinity Ward's making Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Before Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, a lot of fans out there was getting sick of the Call of Duty franchise, and a lot of you guys, like 70% of you guys that's watching this, that's Call of Duty fans, never even played the old Call of Duties, like the first Call of Duty, Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 3, and all the other little side Call of Duties that was in between 1 and 2. Y'all haven't played those, you know, so y'all probably don't know that story, that side of the story. But when people were doing the same thing, talking about Call of Duty and this and that, and it's getting boring, and I'm getting tired of World War games, World War II games, World War I and Vietnam and all that stuff, Infinity Ward listened to that, and they made a beast of a fucking game, which was called, or named, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. That game then took the consoles to a next level, took Call of Duty to a next level, and took the standard of an online shooter to a very next level, to where it's still known as the top-notch online shooter of all time, no matter how realistic any other developer make their shooter. And also, almost no matter how fun, Call of Duty is still going to be that #1 selling game, because everybody's so addicted to their gameplay. And Activision did some good jobs with that game. They got some new game modes. They got, the story is hella genius, you know. Of course, it's take place in the future. US has some sick-ass technology. The enemies get their hands on it, turn it against us. And then, so we have to fight back against our own machines. Not only that, we can't rely on technology, because they got EMPs that disrupt technology and stuff. So the trailer that shows the horses and stuff, we relying back on the old school stuff like horses and hand power, manpower type equipment and stuff like that to overcome or, you know, withstand the EMP type technology and all kind of other little robotic and scientific, you know, technology and stuff out there. So the story is brilliant. The gameplay, the multiplayer is going to be OMG. It's going to be something different, way different from what Call of Duty is. But the developers, like they said, they could have changed it, but they changed it to a certain extent. Like they did a lot of new things to a certain extent because it would have started feeling like a different game besides Call of Duty. You know, it's like the same thing with Halo, where that game is going. It's looking good, but they do too much to it. They fix it up too much. It's gonna go outside of what Halo is, and it's not gonna really be that is not gonna feel like Halo. It's gonna feel like something else. Prime example, the new Ghost Recon. It feels like something else. You know, it has a Ghost Recon name, but it feels real good inside your hands, but it just feels like a different game besides Ghost Recon. So another thing I want to bring up about Call of Duty that they're doing that's new. You know, they also have these missions called, I forgot what they're called, but they're open world missions. They're 360 missions. There's no more going down a narrow corridor. They're still going to have those to a certain extent, but they're going to actually have these missions to where you can go anywhere and achieve your objective. You can take out this objective or go and take out this objective that's way over here and stuff like that. And you can also, given the technology, the robotics that's on the field and stuff like that, you can go to a sky view and control any drone or anything on a battlefield or a helicopter or something like that, and then zoom back out and control it electronically and stuff like that. That's going to bring a new dynamic way to play the game, especially if they implement that inside multiplayer, which I know they are, because the single player of games these days, especially shooters, are implemented on what you're going to experience and to get you ready for the multiplayer. Next up, Dead Space 3 co-op. Is there going to be a new Dead Space? Yes, there is. And rumor has it is that it's going to have co-op. Now, the Dead Space game, they might show it at Comic-Con this year. They might announce it at E3, but it's not going to come out to next year. Probably somewhere October-ish of next year and stuff like that. But everybody know I'm a huge ass Dead Space fan and stuff like that. And co-op, in my opinion, you know, being a huge Dead Space fan, is that a good idea? Fuck no. Ditch the whole, you know, the new way that Capcom is trying to do their Resident Evil with the protagonist, not protagonist, but co-op little buddy and sidekick. I don't want no damn sidekick with me when I'm playing a survival horror game. It takes away 30 to 40% of the horror factor part of it. The only game that did a good job at having a companion with you is Resident Evil 4. Like, you still had that sense of panic and stuff like that, and that horror feeling and stuff like that, to protect the girl and also protect yourself and manage your items accordingly for both of you guys, you know. So survival horror, especially Dead Space, how crazy that game is, creepy factor that game has. Speaking of, I'm getting ready to play through Dead Space 2 again on the hardest difficulty with the plasma cutter only. But anyways, I don't see myself playing co-op now unless they do it in some kind of way where you're not always together. Like, you guys are on two totally different parts within the game, then y'all meet up on certain parts and solve certain puzzles and stuff like that, and you know, y'all go through certain missions together, but y'all separated some kind of way or get separated. And you know, if they do some kind of route like that, then maybe it's good. But they talking about drop in, drop out co-op, so I don't know how that's gonna work. Drop in, drop out co-op will be actually better than the game being strictly co-op, because it just be better like that if you actually think about it. Last but not least, gaming news. So this gaming news segment, I got something, probably you already heard it before. Given the fact that my Universal Gamer updates get recorded on Friday, this got announced like Wednesday of this week. But BioShock Infinite is not coming out this year. It's been pushed back to next year. And I'm not really worried about it being pushed back to next year, because that game started to slip my mind anyways. Like, I kept on forgetting about BioShock Infinite. So that just shows that the game don't need to come out this year, because there's other games that people are going to be playing, and BioShock Infinite is not going to get that many sales until next year. So you might as well release it next year so you can get all your sales and stuff like that all at once, instead of, you know, nickels and dimes. And then once you get to where people ain't playing stuff, then they're going to pick up BioShock Infinite, and then by that time it'll be brand new for like $45 or $40, then you've been losing money. So you might as well launch the game at a new year and stuff like that to get your full profit of $60, which actually they don't get a full profit of $60. They only get a certain percentage. The store get like 4%. The company get like 15, 30, 40%. And then, you know, sponsors, and then commercials and all that kind of stuff, and then tax, and then, you know, state withheld and all that kind of stuff. It's like, but anyways, with that said, that concludes my Universal Gamer update. I will be fiddling around with this camera more. This is not the best quality it can do. It can do better than this. I was just messing around with some settings, trying to record different things. I also got a update coming up, letting you guys know my status update for the rest of May and June, so watch that. And a couple more videos coming up I'm putting on my Hobby Collector channel. Got a dance video up on my Let's Talk channel, Dougie dance practice for the upcoming June event coming up. And I'll also be putting that on my Hobby Collector channel as well. So, with that said, it's been your boy Noob Saibot, the Universal Gamer, giving you the gaming news, how it should be done, son, because I'm the #1. My rapping skills ain't up to par right now. But anyways, with that said, I'm out of here. Peace.